South Carolina or Ohio or a lot of other places, but I'm stuck here because I have a corrupt attorney general that communicates with the DOJ in Washington to keep me nice and busy because I'm leading Biden in the polls by a lot. That's all this is. This is election interference. They made up a fake case. They're fraudulent people. And the judge already knows what he's going to do. He's a Democrat judge. In all fairness to him, he has no choice. He has no choice. He's run by the Democrats. I know this city better than anybody knows this city. There's nobody knows it like I do. He's a Democrat judge out of the clubhouses. He's controlled, and it's a shame. What's going on here is a shame. Our whole system is corrupt. This is corrupt. Atlanta is corrupt. And what's coming out of D.C. is corrupt. This is a disgraceful trial put forward by an attorney general who's corrupt. We have murders going all over the city, all over the state at a record level. It's an epidemic, and they waste their time on this with banks that were very happy. They got all their money back. They weren't defrauded. I've been defrauded. With a judge that ruled that a building, that a property is worth $18 million, when in fact it's worth over $1 billion, probably $1.5 billion. It may be worth anything. When many properties which I sold are worth much more than were listed in the financial statements, by double and triple. What do you have to do? And we're wasting our time on this trial with a Democrat judge from the clubhouses. It's a disgrace. They ought to look for the murderers and the killers that are all over New York killing people, and the violent crime that's being committed in our city and our state is disgraceful, and we're going to be here for months with a judge that already made up his mind. It's ridiculous. He's a Democrat judge, he's an operative, and it's ridiculous. Other than that, things went very well.
What are you going to have for lunch?
Will you come back after lunch, Mr. Trump?
Probably.
Well, the president had made some valid points. You know, it is true that these forms come with a clause that says you shouldn't rely on the representations that have been made, but the court rejected that.
Professor,
argument.
I'm sorry, I've interrupted you so many times, but I think we're seeing something that we frankly did not expect. There's a camera in that courtroom. Was that supposed to be, or would they just be simply ushered out when we're gabbled to order?
Well, you're more likely to have cameras in state proceedings, and so it's up to the discretion of the judge. And quite frankly, I'm not too sure that both parties would want this. I think that Trump views this, the optics of this, as working to his advantage. Look, people looking at this live picture right now will be either filled with rage or they will be thrilled. And that's the problem, is that, you know, you have James now being shown in the background, you've got Trump in the foreground, and it fulfills the narrative on both sides. Trump is likely right. I mean, he's being shown in a sort of tag team series of prosecutions and civil lawsuits where one prosecutor tags another. They're all insisting on these trials occurring before the election.
Just a quick update on my situation. I successfully filed an appeal to me being evicted. That gives me a little bit of time, from a week to even a month before we actually go to the appeals court. And by that time, I'll probably have money. But let me say this. If you are, thinking about getting married and you're a man, and you're nervous about the prospects of divorce and the real prospects of completely getting taken to the cleaners, such as, 90-Day Fiancé, and a woman married the millionaire guy, and days later divorced him and took millions of dollars from him, which sounds illegal, but it happened. The court has an incentive to award a woman as much money as possible because the court dips into that money. They get a cut themselves. So please, first of all, tell women that that's what's going on. They don't get 50%. They probably get 10% when it's all said and done, because there's this fee, that fee, and that fee. Trust me, I just went to have been dealing with the court system over this eviction, and trust me, they will fee you to death. And I'm anyway. If you are married and you suspect your wife of this and that and the other, and maybe she's going to divorce you, all of these categories are applied to what I'm about to say. You are already married. You're thinking about married. You owe it to yourself to go to my Patreon and purchase the little booklet that I put together of how to completely protect you, your assets, your house, your car, your life insurance, your whatever. Protect yourself completely to make yourself 100% divorce proof. Not that you won't get divorced, but you won't get your stuff taken. And I've added that once you purchase the booklet, that I will personally call around to law firms that will represent you. And yeah, I'm not offering legal services. I'm offering to call law firms that will represent you, and you do not have to travel to the law firm. You don't have to do anything. You can stay in your den in your boxers, and Shakaama will call the law firm for you. Okay, so let's get into it. We have breaking news. Judge Ngaran, who is the judge who's presiding over this New York fraud case in New York City, right? That the Attorney General of New York brought this case against Trump after she had promised in her campaigning to get Trump. She didn't say that Trump had done anything, but she campaigned that she would get Trump, which means she's saying that she would literally target Trump and come up with something to get him on. And she's brought over something like 100 to 200 cases against him, and this is just one of them. But this is a doozy. The judge in this case, who is, I believe, I'll just follow the script. How about doing that? Judge Engoron has ordered that Trump and members of his family must disclose all entities they own to a court monitor. The court monitor is Bill Clinton appointed former Judge Barbara Jones. Just to clarify, Judge Engoron is a Clinton-backed judge to begin with, and he donates to the Clintons and they party together or whatever. New York Attorney General Letitia James and Judge Engoron are able to work together and completely take control over the assets of Donald Trump and his two sons for a simple civil infraction. So just so you understand, this is not a criminal trial. This is a civil trial. They're trying to step in to all of this on a civil case. And she's requesting $250 million in damages against Trump. Where she got that number from, nobody knows. There is no victim in this civil. No other person has come forward and said, hey, Attorney General, this happened to me. You need to do something about it. So the insurance who dealt with Trump, they're fine. The banks who dealt with Trump specifically in all of this, not only are they fine, but they made a lot of money from Trump, off of Trump, in the deals. Also, the banks have their own people who assess the value of all of the properties. And in fact, in their contracts, Trump put, this is my assessment. It is your fiduciary responsibility to have your own experts go and assess the value of the properties. That's in the contract. So the idea that Trump defrauded anybody is a ridiculous idea. It's a ridiculous, on its face, it's a ridiculous idea, right? Do you understand? Defrauding means that you have represented something that was not, and you didn't have a capability to figure out what was not. For instance, if we, you and me, were on a dating app and I said, my name is Shaniqua Chandelier, I am a black woman, 5'4", with double D's, long brown hair, hazel eyes, hourglass figure, and I will do whatever you want me to do when we go on our date, and then Shakaama shows up. That's fraud. That's fraud, right? I know they call it catfishing, but it's literally fraud, right? That's fraud. You didn't have the capability of even knowing that Shakaama was the person behind Shaniqua Chandelier, right? I'm making stupid allegories because this is a stupid case. She's saying that Trump defrauded somebody. Okay, who did he defraud? That is the question. Also, the Trump team is incapable of presenting their own defense. Do you understand this? This is what's going on in this trial. Also, the judge refused a jury trial. That's the law. That's the actual law. You are to have a jury. That's the law. So they're sitting there in the court and only the judge is there. This is crazy. And nobody is saying anything. That's what's really crazy. Nobody anywhere, as people are making comments on the news, Democrats are saying this is crazy. Experts are saying this is crazy, but nobody's actually doing anything. Nobody's actually moving. The governor is not doing anything. I assume the governor could say, Letitia James, you are hereby removed, right? The governor could do that, but he's not, or she's not. I forgot the governor's that woman. Okay, the Trump team is not capable of presenting a defense nor arguing anything. That's what's going on in this case. Anybody watching this, even if you absolutely hate Trump, if you actually believe in the American system, believe in the justice system at all, even a little bit, even if you hate cops and you hate judges or you hate this, should move everybody. And when I say move, I mean you should have an emotional response in the negative about this trial. Why the powers that be? Why isn't somebody stepping in and saying they are literally trying to take over all of his properties, all of it, Trump Towers, the whole 9 yards, everything, and ban him from doing business in New York. It's crazy. It's just that crazy. Just take a look on my patreon.com/Shakaama. Thank you so much. Oh, and please donate. The link is in the description, and you'll be the first one that's paid.